And looking at the stats, we see maybe not the highest percentage game we will see this week, but it is indeed the first game maybe expected. The teams are still trying to figure out the ice.
Yeah, I think it took them the first couple of ends to find where the right line was for that freeze or that draw shot on their first rocks. A little bit of over-curling happening, which opened the game up a little bit. So yeah, I think that maybe has affected their draw percentage a little bit. So I expect to see, now that they've got a handle on it, that will come up over the last 4 ends of this game.
Yeah, definitely a draw weight has been looking pretty good. Just trying to figure out that line, where to take ice. As we see some Japanese fans in for this one. Discussing some tactics, I wonder.
Yeah, it looks like they're having a little conversation about what should be played and what should not be played. Or they're going over their previous game. Team meeting, maybe? Lots of discussion with mixed doubles. Definitely promotes lots of discussion.
Satsuki Fujisawa will kick us off here in the 5th end. 2-point lead for Japan. Still haven't seen either team use their power play. You might see that, I'm going to guess, already in the next one.
Yeah, you want to try and, if you're leading, you want to try and play it and arrange it so that you maybe have it in the 8th end. Depending on how the game is going, coming down. If you're behind, you want to make sure that you get a chance to use it, so you don't want to wait too long and not get that opportunity.
And the power play will be moving the pre-positioned stones to the wing, but we'll come back to that when those are called.
Top 4.
A little bit of a tap from Fujisawa, opens up the house a little bit.
Back onto that red. Back 4 onto that red.
Does swing big coming this way.
Back red, yeah.
Okay.
Bit heavy, sorry.
Stay there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. ちょっとブレーキ早いよ。Yep. 前後ろになるわ。ちょっと曲がりすぎてるよ。Oh, nice. Oh, sorry.
So that one I think was supposed to be frozen to that yellow. Again, you're seeing a little bit of over curl. Got the right line on that, or the right weight, sorry, on that one, but they're chuckling a little maybe at that.
I think we go out to draw into the pocket.
Well, Fujisawa does skip the happiest team in all of curling. Became fan favourites at the World Championship in 2017.
Back 4.
Well then.
Very giggly bunch.
Whoa. Back 4.
Whoa.
Nice energy
Switch.
on the ice.
Back 4.
Switch.
Back 8.
Whoa.
Back 8.
Whoa.
Brett being just a little bit heavy on some of these shots here.
Back 8.
Any roll in, any roll in.
Okay.
Is that typical for mixed doubles when you don't have your two sweepers? A lot of these players will play in the men's and women's used to having your front end sweeping your rocks for you. Are you more inclined to throw it there?
Yeah, maybe just that you don't have those sweepers right beside you, so you feel like you have to throw it there on your own from your hand, and maybe just adding a little bit extra there.
So is that maybe an obstacle to overcome?
Yeah.
When you start playing mixed doubles to block that out.
Yeah, heavy is usually not good in mixed doubles. Usually, if it's light, you can usually use it, right? Try to keep things in front of the tee line.
Is that right one in front?
Yeah, it is, by a tiny bit.
If we catch the outside, do they both go?
Yeah, catch the outside. Just back 4. Go back 4 weight.
Back 4.
Yeah, it's only slightly staggered, but...
Yeah, well, we got to play a bit more weight then, I think.
Okay.
Like board to try to spring them out.
Oh, board. Yeah,
I think so.
on.
I would agree with Brett on this one. If you're playing
Which
to
10 you doing?
remove them
Out 10.
out of the forefoot, make sure you're throwing enough weight to get them out
If we
of the
clip the guard,
forefoot.
that's not terrible.
Maybe up.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Hard! Hard! Hard!
Looking pretty
Middle
close coming down here from Bitsargan.
Middle read! Read!
Certainly does spill the reds.
It's another challenge of mixed doubles is trying to stop rocks and get to the other side and sweep the roll. Find yourself as a thrower calling for the other one and watching your player not be able to get to the other side of the sheet.
Sometimes hard to sweep your opponent's stones as well if you're already in the hack, both of you.
Yep. It's a bit of bumping, but everybody's in the same position, so everybody knows there's nothing being done on purpose. It's just the way it's working with this type of discipline. This one looking a little heavy too. He's trying. Not happy with that one. Leaves a nice opening here for New Zealand. Get another one in there, top 4 maybe. Bite the button.
Top 4 is okay.
Leaving Brett the same shot here. Let's see if he
Top 4.
can make the correction.
Line's close.
Top 8.
Yep, then. Yep, line. Where is it? Line's
Top
good now.
4.
Where is it?
Top 4. Back 4.
Oh, then. It's coming out the other side. Right
Do you
back,
want
don't
further
leave a
back?
pocket. Well, other side.
Gonna get a drink of water.
Good sweep.
Good call. Good shot.
Well, that does slip a bit too deep. Missed opportunity by New Zealand. Still lying a bunch, but everything's in behind that tee line. Bit of a wall for Japan to draw into.
Yeah, those rocks back there are, even though they're yellow, they're all friends for Japan.
This will be very similar to the first shot of the end for Fujisawa. Basically just freezing that stone back 4.
I skip. I skip.
A little heavy on the first attempt here on the 5th end. This time does have a bit of room for error. If anything, maybe leave this a bit short.
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
Does end up being a little bit heavy. Freezes one of the other yellows to lie second shot, I believe.
I think just come down and catch it. We'll get up 2.
Yep.
Board, do you want to
Yep.
sweep?
Good opportunity here for New Zealand.
Board, you just got to catch just inside nose of that red.
Okay, cool. Should I take?
Like that red stone, that middle one.
Hard
Yeah,
to tell
inside of
from
it.
our camera angle here, but looks like yellow shot.
Yeah, I would say yellow maybe is shot, but maybe not wanting to take the risk here, New Zealand. Want to make a play on that red.
Yes!
Make sure they get their 2.
Yes!
Last stone here, 5th end from Eleanor
Yes, yes,
Adviento.
yes,
Brett
yes,
Sargan on the sweep doesn't, in fact,
Shot.
nudge that red over, and that has to be 2
Good
for the
sweep.
Kiwis.
Eeks.
2 yellow.
2 yellow indeed. 2 points for New Zealand. And they have now effectively tied this game up at 4 points each,
Okay.
with 3 ends to go.
Cool. We've still got some time to make up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was really good in the quick end.
Yeah. Not sure.
8分でなれ今のペースが
めっちゃ滑ってきたね。
あれだね今は俺のフリーズが良かったけど下がりすぎた
Back 4.
T, back 4.
Stay off.
Back 4.
Some
How's line?
intense
Back
weight
4.
call
You can sweep for
from the
line.
thrower,
Yep.
which is not something we see too
Yeah.
often. But this first one from Eleanor Adviento, indeed a little bit heavy. And that's going to overcurl that red stone back 4 completely and sail to the back 12. Not a great
Yeah.
first stone, maybe all pumped up from scoring 2 in that 5th end. We're not seeing a power play in this end after all. Not allowed to use a power play in an extra end, so
No,
you'd have to
that's
use
right.
it in the first 8.
Yep.
Is Japan maybe thinking we can try and score without power play here in the 6th end, try and force New Zealand to score in 7, use the power play in 8th end to control the game, sort of?
Yep. They could be thinking that way. They force one here, or score here, sorry, and then force one. You may see New Zealand use their power play in the 7th end then.
Weight's all there.
Good
Back 4, I
communication
think.
from the
Back 4,
thrower,
yeah.
though. When you've only got the
Back
2
8.
of you out there, it's nice to know
Whoa.
as the sweeper
Going
how
back
they've
now.
thrown it. If
Whoa.
they feel they've
Right
given
on.
it some, or if
Back
they've
Where's
taken
it?
any off. It's
Yep.
You know,
Where is it?
Back
Yes.
8. Back
can't have
8.
enough information.
Yes.
Back 8.
Hard.
Just a little tick off, unfortunately. Just getting caught a little bit on that finish, I think. They just need to sweep a little bit sooner. Take a little more ice maybe on some of these shots.
I feel like the Kiwis they're sounding just a little bit stressed at the moment.
Tight game. 6th end now.
You can see Team Japan still quite composed. I don't think either team is really struggling for time yet. Time obviously could be a factor though.
Thank you.
It's a good shot.
14.2
これ重いからちょっと
Go.
14.4だと思う。
Like back 4
Yeah.
on that way. Out turn.
Yeah.
Out turn.
Yeah. Out turn. Yeah. About 3/4. Back 12.
Whoa. Close line.
Back 8.
Whoa. Whoa.
Back 8.
Whoa.
Back 4.
Whoa. It's coming now. Close. Yeah.
Back 4.
Hard. Hard.
Good weight on this one. Just again, over curling. Would have been like to hit that one on the other side and tap it back a little bit. Build a nice little wall back there.
Yeah. Hey.
なんか早いかもね。
Hoping to get to the inside of the yellow. This one is hanging out
ウ
there.
エイトはね悪くない。
Could be
ウエイトは悪くない。
a slight disaster for Team Japan if they end up just tapping that yellow onto the shot stone. Not great.
Just freeze or do you want to tap it?
いやいやいや
Freeze.
幅が広い
Who shot?
We are.
幅が広い
Get behind the button.
今ちょうど曲がってるかなと思っていい幅だなとは思いましたが。
やっぱ5番
Angles
に比べた
still look
ら
okay with that red rock there in the top 4 fully accessible. So not in too much trouble yet.
T. T.
Line's close. Yep, line.
Top 4.
Yep, hard. Hard. Drop back, coming.
It's there. It's good.
changed up the angles a little bit for them.
Yeah, it makes it a bit harder to use that redstone for Team Japan. Again, Fujisawa. Just calling the peel on the guard. I think Yamaguchi was asking if he was running it back, but in the end, I'm not quite sure of the call. My Japanese isn't brilliant, I have to say, Kimberly.
That's how I should be able to tell here by where he hits it and there.
Whoa.
Okay, well, looks a little better.
Did end up running it back.
Sorry.
Left his shooter up there a little bit though.
Sort of apologize. I
I think we got to
wonder
guard
if he
that.
was actually just looking to cut the guard.
I don't know.
Come down.
Hold tight on the broom, maybe.
Come down.
She had the
I think
broom on
you
the
just
one
got
in
a
the house,
tight guard on that
which
side.
led me to believe that maybe she was just playing the peel as well.
What kind
But
of guard?
Tight guard.
Tight.
sometimes it's a little tricky
So you
to
want to be
know
covering
without
that full
a
stone,
skip
so I'd
standing
say
down
I might
there
do
at
out
least
turn.
and
edge
having
of,
a
okay,
I might do
complete
out turn.
discussion
Middle
with
of
the thrower what they're
Eight.
doing.
edge of the 8. Just covering just outside of the red stone.
Top
Tight.
8. It's top 8.
Not all of a sudden,
Let me
the
know when we're past that
penultimate
guard.
stone at the end runs by so quickly.
Yes.
We're past, I think. Yeah, we're past. Yep.
Putting up the guard here.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
New Zealand.
whoa, whoa.
Don't want to overcurl and leave a hole.
Okay.
I think that does the job. New Zealand with shot stone.
Just too deep. Curl too much.
Half, quarter of a stone that way, you're perfect. It's still pretty
Yeah.
tough.
Not easy to score
pretty
here
That's fine.
No.
in Japan.
18.
Definitely not two.
I shouldn't.
She's just playing the dry, round, out turn dry, I wonder.
Did you want it on top of the W?
Does curl enough that she could just kind of get by the guard and tick the yellow there, maybe enough to get shot.
Yeah, it certainly has a lot of finish. It's almost coming in sideways.
Have to play it tight to the guard.
We'll see what Tatsuki Fujisawa can do here. Last stone, sixth end. New Zealand lying one in this tied game. 4 points each. Yamaguchi staying away from this one. And this is nowhere close to that yellow rock. Indeed, it is one for New Zealand. We'll have our first steal of the game. And
I
the
think we might
Kiwis.
see the power play in the next end.
Indeed, we will. And it's a 5-4 game for New Zealand after 6 ends of play here in Östersund Arena.
I was like rushing that end, but
Worked.
oh, watch out behind you. I was like, where's my gripper? Okay.
I'll go, or come down.
Yeah.
New Zealand with a potential upset on the cards here, playing Team Japan. Fujisawa and Yamaguchi, two very strong players, but of course, slightly new to the mixed doubles. It is a bit different.
Yeah, I feel this is their first event playing.
Yep.
Oh, second event, I guess. Their national championship would have been their first, having played mixed doubles together. So yes, there is a bit of a learning curve.
Okay.
It is still curling.
down.
We are still throwing shots, but it's
You go
just
that
getting
way.
used to the flow of the game. And
Yeah, definitely. If you have draw weight, you can play takeouts. You can throw good line. You have good weight and good sweepers. It helps a lot.
Does help, yep.
But there's definitely some differences in mixed doubles play.
I think the most is the pace.
Yeah, just the tempo.
Yeah, just the getting up and sweeping your own rock kind of thing that, you know, although I do find that as a Canadian, I think we do see some European teams that do have people that get up and sweep their own rock. So that might be a little bit more used to it, but it is a different feel for sure.
Well, you know, as a young curler back in my day, and still, we would, you know, play you know, the men's or women's game just one-on-one in practice, or two-on-two. We would sweeper on stones. I would play games against myself in the rink. I mean, so players that do that will probably be quite adept at it.
I think every once in a while when I go back to playing four-person curling, I have to stop myself from getting up. I do most of the sweeping on my team. My husband, who's at home watching, is a skip, and I do most of the sweeping.
Japan did have the option to utilize their power play.
I'm a little surprised, actually, because they score here. Obviously, the only way you can use your power play is you need to have hammer, and so they won't have hammer coming home. I'm wondering if they just forgot, maybe.
Did seem to have a bit of a chat between the ends. Could have been something else.
Yep.
Maybe they feel there's a bigger chance of scoring a big end without the power play.
Yep. All right, come down.
Just remembering the Worlds last year, we didn't see necessarily too big scores, too big of a scores in the power play ends.
Small half.
Almost more feels like
Third of a
it's a
rock.
safe way of scoring two,
All right.
more than trying to score a 4 or 5.
Should be the safe way of scoring, for sure. Although I do know that there's been lots of steals on power plays too, especially, you know, having to go around that corner guard and not really knowing what the weight might be like or the line.
Well, we'll see if it pays out for Team Japan here, as Sargan just jammed that double takeout, still leaves Japan sitting 2. So setting up really nice here for Japan. They can draw around, sit top 4. Starting to look a bit sketchy for the Kiwis. Maybe slips a bit too deep for Yamaguchi, but at least sits above the T line.
Yeah, I think if we can come down and just get to the nose of that red, just push that back. It's either that or same thing, we play a double on that, but then they draw again.
I think you can double this or we can double that, so.
If we double that, that's heading straight for our yellows, the only thing. I like playing this and just flop to there. We're trying to cut them down, right?
Okay.
If we give them 1 or 2, that's fine.
Cool. Do you want to?
Yeah, come.
ああ、そうだね。確かに。
曲がる曲がる曲がんないだから。
ハックだとドローだけだね。
See the player comparisons here for the male athletes.
8のレイズも
And around that 50 mark, we'll probably see them up from that later on in the week.
ね。
Still figuring out the ice conditions. It seems to be a little tougher when you're only 2.
Close line.
And obviously the difficulty of the shots being played on average is a lot higher than in the men's or women's game. You feel a lot of touch shots, freezes, taps and draws.
No roll.
That's a beautiful shot by Brett Sargent. Makes that hit and roll. Sits frozen on Japan shots don't.
That's really nice there.
Yes, indeed.
Get another look at it here.
ちょっと押す？ちょっと押すか。気持ちね。はい。
And that shot was available. Yamaguchi slept a bit deep with his draw.
14.2 かなこっち。どう？
We'll see the women playing slightly better this evening. I think usually, if anything, you see maybe the players throwing stones 1 and 5 are a bit lower in percentages, just because they're quite often very harshly penalized on the last stone, because you missed by an inch, you get 0 very quite often.
Yep.
And getting to throw 3 stones, a lot more rocks, the average usually goes up a little bit.
ウェイトは悪くない。
Yeah, the last shot's usually a 0
Or 100.
or a 4.
Yeah,
ウェイトは
4
悪くない
being
or
4
5.
points or 100%,
Yes.
either way.
Yep. This one here just ticking off as well.
いい感じだけどね。あ
Does move the yellow ever so slightly.
まああんまりね。
Something.
Japan maybe lying 2.
いまいちわからんわ。
Hard to tell.
New Zealand will want to be careful here.
I think we just got to guard this.
今1か2だよね。
God.
You want to come and have a look?
Okay. How many shot?
No, they're 2 now, so we got to make a move on that. Draw down, sit on this. Draw down, tap that back.
Cool.
They're sitting 2 at the moment.
Cool. Tap this one back.
Yeah. Even if you just nudge and roll to there, that's not the end of the world.
How far am I tapping them back? Right
You only,
through?
oh no, you only need to move it a couple inches.
Okay.
So just play like a tee back 4 kind of way.
Cool.
Unless you just
ice?
want to play like a board and just get rid of it. It's completely up to you.
We have to make a shot.
Whatever you're more comfortable with.
Let's do the draw because that's the one I made up now.
Play the draw?
Yeah.
Cool. Tee weight.
Back 4. Yep.
Gotta go.
Yep. That's good.
Gotta go.
Yep.
Looks a little light. Watch that they. Oh dear.
Pulling up way short
Did you
here.
get time for that?
It's going to leave
Okay.
another guard up front. What is left for Japan? A draw for 3.
Yep.
Brett Sargan did confirm that it is 2 reds.
あっちと同じで投げて伸ばせない
Fujisawa with a great chance to catch a piece of the button, score 3 points here. We'll have to be fairly accurate though. Do not have a lot of backing on their own red. If they ever push their own stone back 2 inches, it might just be the 2. So it needs to be a cool draw to the top button here. Last stone, 7th end, down by 1. Didn't use their power play. In the end, could prove beneficial.
Both of them working hard on this one.
Definitely 2 on the board. Can they get 3? This one's really moving. And it's just pulling up a bit short. Close. But not quite there. Actually moves the yellow a tiny bit, but it doesn't make a difference. In the end, it is the 2 points for Japan. They will be up by 1 after 7 ends of play here in Östersund Arena.
Which side do you want to play it on? I think
Kina side.
that way.
6-5 game with 1 end to go.
ピックかガードか、ガードか